All right, basically, when we look at this thing from a third person point of view, this subject, okay, me in this case, has a romantic prerogative. And every time he looks for a suitable helper, he comes up against white supremacy, which is also partially defined by others in the culture. There's materialistic people, and a lot of them, perhaps the majority of them, are in denial about that or refuse to admit it. There's the hippie multicultural left, kind of pothead, free love, redefine love in some kind of Scooby-Doo fashion. Okay, so the white supremacists are in denial and they're living their kind of American dream, refusing to factor in how white supremacy and this kind of American cultural prerogative interferes with the romantic process. And the hippies refuse to admit that by throwing out all the values that Christianity has superimposed itself on, that you can't have love that way either. All right, so obviously their culture is not romantically stimulating enough, and the white supremacist conservative party is too hypocritical and ultimately refuses to be fair and treat them fairly, so it's not stimulating enough as well. And both sides want to get them to settle to make their social orders look good. And ironically, it's a predominantly Christian culture where in Exodus 3:14, God reveals himself to Moses by saying, I am who I am, and the left goes on and on about how the white man stole the black man's identity. All right, so we have the nature left and the sticking up for the poor, and we have the Christian values on the right, and neither side wants to be honest and give him his rightful place. And when you combine it together, obviously you get sort of an African martial arts ideal person mixed with the true Christian kind of Martin Luther King, and it merges together on this subject, and it's very obvious why that is. There's really no viable counterargument. So what we see here is his definition of love has to do with honesty, righteousness, the moral warrior spirit, and true love. Life is not worth living to him without the true love. Okay, versus the mental health argument where if you ever believe that life is not worth living, you should be drugged into living the American dream. Okay, so this guy keeps trying to find true love, and if he can't do that, he's going to connect to God, and he's out of there. They've drugged him to the point where he's suffered serious difficulties, we'll say, with 19 witnesses on record and countless other people complaining of similar events. Okay, when we look at the abundance of evidence, it's clear cut. I mean, a lot of the stuff they can tamper with the technology they have, and technology is really, it's 2019. It's really more. They're more than capable, and they have more than the motives to do it. So what we see here is the logical thing to do is for them to pay him some kind of compensation. For he's willing to leave, he's willing to settle down and really say Americans aren't worth fighting for anymore because they refuse to accept these kind of very obvious facts. The left is a ridiculously pathetic argument in terms of what they should do with this guy, and so does the right. And all the other groups, they're just variations of the left and the right, really, all the cultures that are allowed. None of these people want to use the proper scale. And he doesn't respect them for what they're doing, and neither should he, right? They don't care about the things that matter most to him, which are the moral warrior spirit, righteousness, truth, true love, right? They want to live an American dream and take substances and